I'm over the fence so y'all can see.
They said it was 30. They said it was more than that.
How many bodies?
Probably going up. That was 23 minutes. Yeah,
They said how many bodies?
It's been 30 cents.
Damn.
30 нашли.
That's sick, bro. That's sick.
Yeah.
But look at that.
They did.
It looks creepy.
They said he been doing this since 2009. They say 2009. Yeah.
Let me call you back. Let me record.
They said he been digging shit
Let me record.
Ain't no telling who.
He been doing this since 2009.
If y'all have any relatives, missing women, girls,
Share the live, y'all. Share the live.
Do me in the North Southside City.
They covered up so we couldn't.
She said some family been missing for 5 years. They stand over there.
What?
They think they loved ones in this ground.
They think they
ones in the ground?
What?
They been missing up there on the other side.
What's up?
This is five. The man arrested this morning.
That's what they said, yo. That lady just said that. She said that girl was. She just said.
She did.
She said
it was a little girl that been missing for 5 years.
he been last seen with him.
She was last seen with him.
They said she
and
had.
her body was found
She over here.
in his yard. This is crazy. That's what my caption say. Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah,
They
that's
say, man, we got a Jeffrey Dahmer around this. This is some sick. Some, they
yeah, that's
say, man, we got a Jeffrey Dahmer around this. This is some sick.
They said he been doing it for years. They say the boy just went on the news. He said that 1 week he said he had the whole blue thing so you couldn't see in his yard. And then he said he came back, it was all gone. But he built, look over there, he built a door. Like he put a door up to go down to the place. The white girl said she went on there once years ago. He got hanging from the in the basement.
He was like sexually assaulting them and beating them to death.
Yeah, my friend.
Who got the up? Like, what, he tried to sex somebody?
Nah, I guess she came over there because they say he started doing, he do hip now. So I don't know, but they say he been doing, they say they been calling the police on his house for years. And they just, letting it go, letting it go.
Girl, we got a Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, killing kids and burying them.
Only difference is it's girls, little kids.
So who made them, how they find out? They said a friend and
The roommate told.
And they
and I heard that they found 30 bodies so far. That's what I heard on the news. They found 30 bodies already.
Shalom. Shalom. First off, I give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Yahweh being your name for thy Father. Yahushai being named for his only begotten Son, the Lord Igly calls God, in Jesus Christ. I want to give double honors to our apostles, double honors to our elders, great millstone that taught us the truth and will well. And salutations to you, hopefully pushing this truth and honesty, sincerity. This is Brother Yawasap, because listen to the spirit power, Yahweh Shai, the update, end times and events. And you see here in St. Louis, they basically found another serial killer that had been having victims since 2009. They found over 36 bodies of children, buried in this backyard. And apparently he was ousted by his roommate, but I mean, the roommate needs to be investigated at this point. But yeah, man, this is crazy. And this is these are the devils that's living around us and amongst us, that has us as an oppression. This is why this devil has to be brought down. He is the murderer, the thief, the killer of the earth, man. This man is a brute beast, Esau, Edom. This is why we need a savior, so we can put an end to shit like this. Because how is this shit going on for all these years? And every once in a while they always find somebody like this that's doing this type of shit. So we have to be cautious of our seeds and stuff in some of these neighborhoods, because you'd be surprised who could be possibly living in your neighborhood that's pretty much listed as pedos and stuff like that, man. These people are just allowed to fucking live among you, and this is what they do. This is a demon, man. This is sick. Here it is. He's molesting and doing all types of shit, to these children, and then murder them. And Esau, Edom. There's a big market in the dark web for this type of shit, and they really get off on it, man. Some of them, there's some devils that can't get aroused unless they're killing somebody or something. It's just crazy, man. It's straight up a demon that's on an individual desire this type of stuff. And this is an actual thing, man. This is definition of necrophilia. It says necrophilia is a term derived from the Greek words philios, attraction to love, and necros, dead body, and involves the sexual attraction to a dead body. And this type of disorder or demon has been on people for centuries, all the way back to the time of the Greeks and further. Murderers. Necrophilia, known as necrophilism, necronologia, necrotius, necrolepsis, and thanophilia is a sexual attraction or acts involving corpses. Okay, so you got people out there that actually get aroused through somebody getting tortured and killed. And every once in a while, a mass murderer surfaces and gets caught. And they're in every city, man. There was a mass murderer here in Kansas City, Missouri, too, some years back that got busted. These people exist, man. This is John 8:44. It says, "You're of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it." Okay, this goes into wicked people. Edomites and wicked 2/3 Israelites too. Some of these people are just born that way. Even from a child, when you do documentaries, like they had that documentary about Jeffrey Dahmer, he showed signs of being a sadistic mass murderer, a sick murderer from early stages in childhood. Him, wanting to dissect animals and stuff and torture them and cut them up and explore the insides of their guts and shit like that, man. And before you know it, he became an adult and he started acting upon his impulses to actually, do victims that were people. And I had to turn the show off. I couldn't even watch the whole thing because they started getting into that Momo shit. He was a Mo. He liked sleeping and laying with men. So it got pretty disturbing throughout the show, where I was like, damn, I can't watch no more of it. It's sick, man. But these people exist. They're out here. They really are. This is John 10:10. It says, "The thief cometh not, but for to steal and to kill and destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly." So when Yahushua comes, we're going to have life more abundantly, because this thief, he seeks nothing but to steal, kill, and destroy. If it isn't a mass murderer, he's manipulating, he's oppressing people, he's stealing land, and he's destroying shit. It's all this devil does, Esau, Edom. That's why the Lord hates him, man. This is a sick being. Ecclesiasticus 9:3 says, "Keep thee far from the man that hath the power to kill. So shalt thou not doubt the fear of death. And if thou come unto him, make no fault, lest he take away thy life presently. Remember that thou goest in the midst of snares, and that thou walkest upon the battlements of the city." So you have to be cautious when living amongst these Edomites and these devils, man. Just because it might be a somewhat calm neighborhood, they might smile in your face. You can't trust them. Okay, so you have to always keep this sense of caution when being around, these heathens in this foreign land. Okay, and pray for the Lord to give you protection from them. Because, hey, that's a lot of victims this guy got. And a lot of those probably Israelite kids, too. They find it. And can you imagine, years your child goes missing, and you hear that, they finally found the remains in this guy in your neighbor's backyard, buried. It's terrible, man. This is Hebrews 12:16. It says, "Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright." So there's no fornicator or profane person as an Edomite. Okay? They are the most profane people. They're sick. And these Edomites, they're ruling the land that we call America today. Predominantly, they look as appearance as so-called white people, but you got Edomites that walking around in brown skin too. We call them tares within the scriptures. Just sick people, man. I remember talking to somebody, and I was having dinner with her, and she said, "Hey, I like to eat raw meat," and this is a woman that looked like an Israelite. But that's a indicator right there, man. She was had a little bit of goofiness to her. You could tell something was a little bit off in her eyes. She was really pretty in the face, but she's like, yeah, she got to talking about how she eats raw meat and shit, man, and eats raw ground beef and talking about how delicious it is. And that's a trait of an Edomite, man. They like eating rare raw meat and steak, blood. Esau couldn't wait for the food to be cooked all the way. He wanted it then and there. He wanted that food, rare, uncooked. It's gross, man. And you got this dude called the Liver King. He's on social media, on Instagram. It's this bodybuilder, big burly Edomite, and he be eating a lot of raw chicken, raw liver. There's a lot of raw meat, uncooked, man. And the scriptures talk about how you're supposed to cook the blood. First of all, drain the blood. If you have to hunt, venison or whatever, you got to drain the blood. It's the way you're supposed to slaughter your animals, okay? And then also you're supposed to cook it all the way through. Not supposed to be any blood left in it. Hey, but this devil, he loves blood, man. This is Ezekiel 35:6. Therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. So the Lord is going to judge these Edomites for the lust of the bloodshed that they have. Verse 7 says, thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. Okay? Mount Seir is the land of Esau, Edom, so-called white people. So he's going to cut off Esau, Edom, man. He's going to destroy all their, governments, their empires that they've built. Jumping up to verse 3 says, and say unto it, thus saith Yahweh, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh. Because thou hast had perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in their time of calamity, and their time their iniquity had an end. So the Lord's going to destroy Esau, Edom. And anybody that's currently living like this, doing shit in their backyard like that, man. This devil's got to be brought down. This is why we need deliverance. Know who your enemy is, man. This is Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Okay. And this is the wicked. Now, you see that guy that did that in that neighborhood, got children in his backyard. But don't you know that the elites at the top, the rulers of this country, the rulers in high places, did they do child sacrifice daily, man? This is just one dude randomly in a neighborhood. But at the top, they do this shit like clockwork. They believe in drinking blood, all sorts of sick shit. Okay, look up the Illuminati and the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers and shit like that, man. There's something called adrenochrome and shit that they get involved with. These people are sick at the top. It's part of their rituals. So, if not, where and who is he? If this not the wicked, then where and who is the wicked? You explain to us, where and who is the wicked if it's not this man, this devil that's ruining all these nations, doing all this shit? So, but the Lord is coming back, as we read, and he's going to put an end to all this. So, Lord's will, this lesson is edifying. I'm going to close out. Give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. The honors to our apostles and elders, great millstone, Tasha's truth and will well. And salutations to Jehovah, light, person's truth and honest sincerity. Shalom.